What's going on, guys? DJ Dex here, your host of the Platform Mix, and bringing you today our first ever Platform podcast. Got my man Dirty Darren here.
What up?
Our first guest on the show. We're going to get it started. So we're going to be talking about a lot of things, DJ related, things that we can get into, music, nightlife in general, and just the industry as a whole. So with that being said, let's get into it with our guest, Dirty Darren. He's from Chicago. And then tell us a little about yourself, man.
Well, let's start. I've been DJing for a little over 20 years now. I grew up in Northwest Indiana, right outside of Chicago. Moved downtown a little bit after high school. And had a bunch of DJ roommates forever.
Yeah.
Which was amazing. And yeah, man, just still grinding it out, still going.
Yeah, so you've been in Nashville for a little over a year now.
Yeah, I moved down here November 2021.
Okay. I know, obviously, I've known Darren for a very long time from previously living in Milwaukee. I just moved here to Nashville in August. Just kind of living out here. Girlfriend got into school, so we made the jump, switched out here. I know for you, talking to you in the past, obviously Chicago was shut down during COVID.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what prompted the move down here, right?
Yeah, so actually one of my best friends, a person I consider family, my buddy Miguel, he moved down here with his wife and family a few years back, maybe about 3 years ago.
Yeah. And
I kept wanting to come visit him. COVID hit, shut down the entire world, so that didn't really happen. And then, yeah, he was about to have his second child, so I was like, man, if I don't get down there now, I'm not going to be able to really spend any time with him.
He's going to get locked down pretty quick.
Yeah, so I literally planned a trip within a couple weeks, drove my car down, and got out of my car, and 2 full party buses of bachelorettes went by screaming at the top of their lungs with music blasting.
Yep.
I was like, what is going on in this city? Like, Chicago's still shut down, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, it was, you go on vacation to get drunk, and it's always that random text like, man, I'm moving here, you know? And I've said it a bunch of times, but, yeah, man, I think just being kind of sad and emotional with, Chicago, the whole DJ nightlife getting shut down, it was just like, I'm doing it. I'm moving. 6 months later, I was here, so.
Yeah, and I mean, from what I've seen and heard, obviously being out, you've been killing it since you've been down here.
Thank you.
Playing at basically every major venue here in the city already. Obviously, from me hearing you in Chicago, you're one of the top DJs in Chicago, and Chicago is up there on my list from people that I've heard of the best DJs in the world. And obviously,
thank you, man. Appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, I might be a little biased because obviously I was close to Chicago, so that's who I would get to see and hear a lot of. But I mean, those guys coming out of Chicago, when you look at a guy like a Gordo, who is your best friend,
yeah, man,
to Metros, Shaw, Novik, Strategy, Dolo, all those dudes.
We got some talent up there, bro.
Yeah, there's some serious talent. So,
definitely.
But yeah, I mean, obviously you had some connections down here from Miguel, even Eric, who was managing El Jefe, now is at their sister company at Dirk Bentley's Whiskey Row. So you didn't come down here, I guess, completely alone, which is nice to have.
Yeah, it was different, man, because I've always had roommates growing up. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is kind of the first time I've ever really lived on my own. So yeah, it was a change.
Yeah.
I went through some emotions for a couple of weeks,
Feel a little lonely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll get into it later, but what happened when I moved here.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was cool, man. I mean, I came down a couple times during the summer to DJ. Eric set me up to play Whiskey Row. And yeah, man, I got to meet a bunch of DJs. A bunch of DJs reached out when they saw me like on the flyer. And yeah, man, everybody's been pretty cool.
Yeah. And that's kind of one of the things we wanted to get into was obviously a big difference from Chicago to here.
Very big difference.
Just demographic-wise as a whole, Nashville is a very tourist-centered city.
Yeah.
People-wise, it's a very different demographic, and even just kind of neighborhoods. I mean, Chicago's got a bunch of different neighborhoods to play at.
And they have their own like kind of vibes. Nashville has a couple of neighborhoods that have their own vibe too,
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, because you're looking at, I mean, the main place that people want to go when they're here is Broadway.
Yeah.
And as a DJ, like, those are more than likely the spots that you're wanting to play.
Those are the crazy, fun, nightclubby,
Yep.
kind of places.
Yeah.
It's definitely, like we talked about before, it reminds me of Wrigleyville
Yeah.
in Chicago. Just a strip of bars, super touristy. I think the difference between Chicago and Nashville is like everybody in Nashville is like, I would say on the weekends, everybody's a tourist. Mm-hmm. Wrigleyville, if the Cubs weren't in town, they would still be busy. And I feel like it was people from the suburbs. Not so much touristy people, but still, Chicagoans of some sort. Because I could go into some deep Chicago cuts.
Shit.
How'd that happen?
Don't know. Technical difficulties. You gotta be ready for anything. Cool. There we go. We'll be good. Anyway, carry on with going through Wrigleyville. Yeah.
Yeah. So Wrigley was it when I got to Broadway. It really reminded me of Wrigleyville, like post Cubs game, super touristy. Even the bands, you're hearing all the sing-alongs that you'd hear in any really tourist destination area. The DJs, same thing. You every bar almost has like their own club level or the rooftop down here, but even though you could still get away with the sing-alongs, you don't really have to go super club like you would in like Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's one of the things that I found most interesting here, and it's something that kind of my friends talk to me about all the time. Where I'll have friends that are like, I don't want to go to Nashville, like I don't want to listen to country music,
right?
And I'm like, bro, that's not how it is at all.
It's not. Everybody, it's the exact same thing, but it's not.
Yeah, and everyone kind of thinks it's like, like you go there and that's all you're gonna hear. It's crazy, like, and kind of like what you were just alluding to, where basically every venue is built upward, where especially the ones on Broadway, because they're all 4 or 5 floors.
Yeah.
And how it works is a lot of those first floors have an open concept, whether it's like garage doors or open windows that'll open out to the street. And what I noticed right away when I got here is obviously being that it's a little bit warmer here, you can kind of open that stuff up, and they'll put those live bands on that first floor.
Yeah.
When all these tourists or whoever is out are walking through just down Broadway, that's what you hear. You hear that live music. And you're like, oh, cool, let's go in here and check this out.
Yeah.
As you go up to that second floor, that third floor, that rooftop, that's where you get a little bit of a different vibe, whether they're doing another band on another floor.
Like an acoustic act or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they'll do like a DJ on the third floor or a DJ on the rooftop. Or they have that at nighttime, that second floor, that third floor, those bigger rooms just turns into a club level.
Yeah.
And that's something I thought was really cool here. Since being out, that's different from any other city that I've really been to. Mm-hmm. As how they kind of go about their nightlife that way, which is really cool. So,
and I kind of like it because it is different. The bands are, for the most part, every band is ridiculously good, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of they're down here they're doing the tourist stuff on Broadway to make their living, but a lot of them are down here to do original music. Mm-hmm. These are cream of the crop musicians down here.
Yeah, it's
I've
people
seen
out here that are legit trying to. They're coming here to live out that dream.
Yeah.
To become an artist, to become a country singer, and make it.
You'll hear them do solos and they'll nail it like it's on the CD. You know, like you're like, I mean, just I love music. That was when I came down here and visited, that was another thing. It puts you in an emotional state when you just hear. If you're a fan of music and you love music and you just hear somebody rip one of your favorite songs to death, like the artist that did it was in front of you, mm-hmm. They might even be better. Yeah. Honestly, like, some of these musicians are ridiculously good. So, that's another thing that I like about Nashville is like, man, you can switch it up. It doesn't have to be, club and hip hop and, all night. You can go and just like, man, let's go take 20 minutes downstairs and listen to 3-4 songs. Yeah. Another reason why I'm really happy I made this move. So,
yeah, it's awesome. And then especially as a DJ, you went into it a little bit, just talking about how kind of in Wrigleyville and other places, like you don't necessarily have to play all those sing-alongs and all that cheesy stuff. But with there being such a different group of people literally every weekend.
Yeah.
Because there's thousands and thousands of people coming in here every weekend.
I think they average, I think it's like 80,000 people a weekend.
A weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Some
insane.
weekends obviously are smaller than others, but I
Yeah.
think the average is around 80.
Yeah.
Because I think for, what was it, 4th of July weekend, it was like 250,000 people or something ridiculous. My numbers could be off, but
Yeah.
if you see pictures of the street, you'd be like, man, that's a
On
lot
those
of
big
people.
weekends, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of where it gives you a little bit more freedom as a DJ to be able to kind of play whatever you want.
Yeah.
To dig into those songs that aren't necessarily those most popular hit songs out. Like obviously with a tourist crowd, I still feel like that's what works because these people are coming from everywhere. Those hit songs are what they're familiar with.
Yeah.
But
because they are from, it is from everywhere. You got people from Cali to Louisiana to, you know, it's a crock pot of people, and you're just like, what? Like, what hip hop song did you want? I've never even heard of this artist. And they're like, oh, he's huge in Memphis. Like, well, he's not big in Nashville yet.
Well, that's what I had the other week. The girl requested a Kaya song.
Yeah.
And I was like, I haven't fucking, like, it wasn't My Neck, My Back. And I was like, I've never even heard of this. And she looked at me like I was just the dumbest person ever. And downloaded it, played it. And I was like, all right, this sounds like it's like a decent beat to it. Mm-hmm. She was with like a 15-person bachelorette party. They all broke out into a dance. They knew like an entire choreographed dance to it. And I was like, I've never even fucking heard this.
Yeah.
And they were just like, oh, it's super popular like where we're from. I'm like, you're telling me this song gets played and you guys break out into a full choreographed dance.
I remember when Navik and Gordo used to go to San Francisco a lot to play. Navik came back one time with like a folder of music, and there was some stuff that I was like, what is this? Like, and he's like, bro, they in San Francisco, they ate it up. Like, he's like, they went bananas for all this stuff. He's like, I've never even played it.
E40 stuff,
Yeah. And
yeah, that's what's kind of nice because then you get those tourists that'll come in here and they'll kind of put you onto some new music that you might not even know. And you might
it's
find
funny.
something.
I would be at Nudies a few times, and there'd be people that'd be like, "Can you come up? You ever heard of the song The Percolator?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm from Chicago."
Yeah.
Like, and then you just
I heard of it?
Yeah. I mean, you just get so it's funny when you see that because I mean they don't know I'm from Chicago, but come up and then you do a 15-20 minute old school house set for them, and they just. You know, it's probably the only time they're going to hear it because I'm probably the only one. Well, you'll have it. Yeah. But between us, we're probably the only two people that have some of those tracks, you know, being from the Midwest. So,
yeah, it's dope, though. But it's definitely a good vibe out here. There's so much to do, whether you're eating, drinking, going out, doing whatever you want to do. There's no shortage of events.
None at all.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, but we're going to kick it off with something I want to kind of get going on a couple of these shows. We're going to do a couple of drafts. So first one we're going to do here is a DJ setup draft. So what Darren and I are going to do, we're going to be able to pick our mixer, our decks, our what we're playing on, so either USB or computer.
Okay.
So if you want to pick sticks, go that way. What software you're going to use. So obviously, if you're sticks, you're most likely record box.
Yeah.
And then the big one, what venue are you going to be playing at?
Yep.
Yeah. So you want first draft pick? You're the guest.
I'll go first.
And you don't have to pick an order. You can pick your venue first. You can pick your software first. You can do whatever you want.
I think I'm gonna have to go with computer, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be my first one.
And that takes it off the board for me. So that means I'm playing on sticks. So I'm gonna have to get my my record box updated a little bit, so get them back onto the sticks. So yeah, I'm gonna take since I don't have to pick that, I'm gonna go CDJ 3000s.
I mean, you kind of have to at that point.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. I'll go Technique 12s.
Okay.
For my decks.
Ooh, I figured you would just go 2000s and just go Nexus 2s or something.
I didn't even think about that now that you bring it up. But yeah, I'll do 12s.
All right. Mixer. 900 Nexus 2.
I'm going with the S11 then.
Okay. Yeah, I guess if you're on turntables, it's a lot better to have that S11. You can
Yeah,
get the
definitely.
pads and everything on there. Man,
I think it's, what do we got, software and venue?
Yeah, software I'm going to be using Rekordbox. We just got to pick venue, man. It's going to be...
I'm going to go with Serato, and then venue, man, that's a tough one because there's definitely rooms that I've played that I love. Mm-hmm. But if I could pick one right now, like ultimate room, man, it'd probably be like...
You going
the
East
Mirage,
Coast, West Coast? You're going somewhere else? What?
The Mirage in Brooklyn.
Okay.
That place is sick. I've only seen videos, and I want to go really bad. I've talked to my buddy Nick DeMazzo and my boy Ron from New York. I gotta get there to see a show, man. Their LED wall is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this might be like a cliche one, but I'm picking 11. I mean, if you can play one, like I feel like playing there would be so dope.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's a draft. You guys will have to let us know in the comments what your picks would be if you guys could have any setup, and then what venue you'd want to play. So you'll have to let us know. I did see something on social media today, and we had to get into this. We were talking a little bit about it before. Scrolling through, and you always see it either a couple times a month, a couple times a year.
That local DJ?
Yeah. It's not even like always the local DJ, but I feel like it's DJs are the only ones that do it.
Yeah.
Where big announcement coming soon. And it's just something that is always...
It kind of gets under my skin a little bit.
Oh, it's so bad.
I get it, man. Maybe it's somebody that they're extremely excited for something. Maybe they had that phone call and it's not even locked in yet, but they just are so excited that they say something like that. I've always tried to not do that because I've had some really cool things that were going to happen that never did. Mm-hmm. And I've told people and they've been like, what happened with that? I'm like, sad. Like, oh man, it never panned out. So I don't want to look like a liar. So it's like, I stopped trying to do that. I'll still tell like my really close friends, like, dude, this happened, like this might go through, but there's stuff I keep to myself. Man, I especially with DJ stuff, dude. I had a photo shoot I wanted to do a long time ago, and I got drunk and blabbed about it because I thought it was so clever, and somebody stole my idea, man. Yeah, I won't mention the name, but I was like, wait, this is exactly what I told that person like 3 weeks ago.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, man. So I was like, man, I'm going to keep my ideas to myself until I actually do them,
Yeah. I get the whole part of like being excited, but I'm like, just announce it when you announce it,
Yeah.
You're building no traction or anything from doing something like that.
I mean, you watch like, big places like Vegas, when they do the announcement, they do the announcement.
Yeah.
There's no like, we're announcing
Special
the
guest
DJs
coming soon.
Yeah, there's no DJs next week. Like it's just like, who is it? Boom, that's who it is. The Wind just did the Chainsmokers one. I thought that was cool how they did it.
Yeah, they're pretty on top of their stuff as far as branding, marketing, social media and stuff goes.
Yeah, their stuff is good. I mean, they just have millions and billions of dollars at their disposal. So
but Nashville. We kind of talked about what you've been doing down here, getting booked at a couple places. The booking here, we've talked about it prior, just how different it is here as compared to other cities. In Milwaukee, every venue is booked by the management, by the owners.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's not really DJs or these third company agencies that are doing the booking. Nashville, that's one thing that I found out very quickly was it's not something that you can just go hang out at a bar, meet the staff, talk to the manager, talk to the owners that are sitting there.
And try to get your foot in the door that way.
Yeah.
Which is like, I feel like how it is everywhere.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different here. Maybe like here in Vegas are probably the only places where you're like, have to go through, a very specific person.
Yeah, like here there's third-party booking agencies that basically book every venue here for the most part. So unless you have an in with those agencies or somebody recommends you, it's very difficult to get in down here because one, those people running those companies aren't really out.
Yeah.
So there's no way for you to run into them and like meet them at a venue or anything really like you would typically by going to your favorite club and running into a manager.
Right. And just slowly becoming friends. Like I've gotten gigs just because I became homies with so-and-so over the years, you know? Yeah, it's a little different, man. And I feel like, not to sound like a hater either, but it doesn't seem like talent goes a long way here. Like it's
more of a
there are people that are getting gigs that probably shouldn't be
because of who they know.
Yeah, who they know, or just maybe they're just grandfathered in.
Yeah,
they've been doing it. Maybe it's just their go-to. I don't know, but it seems like there's no like grading scale. Like, man, this is the better opportunity. Let's give it to this person because he's gonna shine and he knows what he's doing in that element. And somehow this person will get it, and you'd be like, like what just happened?
Yeah,
like and then
like for me, like hearing people out here. I mean, I obviously know how you are as a DJ, and from hearing a lot of people out here, I know you're one of the best in the city here.
Thank you, brother.
And yeah, it's just hard to kind of get out there too, because even when you are booked, like I'm booked by these third party agencies, and they've really never even heard me DJ.
Yeah.
So it's like, as far as they're concerned, like they're just basically going off of what other people are saying.
Yeah.
I could go out there and completely bomb a set, and they would, unless management is going right to them and being like, "Hey, don't ever book this guy again. This guy
You'd get
sucks."
booked the very next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they get a little overwhelmed because there are tons of gigs in the summer, man. Every venue has 3-4 shifts a day.
Yeah, because you're
Monday through Sunday.
Yeah,
like,
10 a.m. Yeah.
No, every bar has 20-something shifts that need to be filled with DJs, not including bands, And like if you're booking all that, at that point you're just like, I just need it filled. Like I get that aspect of it. Like I just need somebody there so I don't get in trouble, But I still think that there should be some kind of like quality control, I think what happens in Nashville, because it's such a touristy city and because people bounce from bar to bar to bar, none of the DJs have been like held accountable, like in their sets. Like it's like, 30 minutes, he sucks. 30 minutes and new crowd's going to walk in. They're probably going to have a drink and they'll be like, this DJ sucks, I'm out of here. And if that just keeps happening, first off, that DJ never gets better because he doesn't get humiliated by clearing out a dance floor. Because he never clears it out because there's just a fresh 100 people the next 30 minutes,
Yeah. I never even really thought about it like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so like Chicago, like, dude, if you had to build a room from start to finish, you don't have that fresh crop of people. You have to keep all those people there as long as you possibly can and keep them happy. And that's one of the things that doesn't happen here. And I think for the DJs, it's bad for them because if they go to another city, they're not going to understand like what they did wrong. They're not going to understand like, this works all the time. It works all the time because of that refresh in the crowd. Like for us, like you have to, let certain sets play and let certain songs ride. Like, it's just a very different way of DJing. And I think some of those guys, they don't get that.
Yeah.
They don't know how, like, clear the dance floor. You can tell in a couple of songs, like, this isn't working, let's switch it. And I've heard stories of guys going out of town and clearing the dance floor and not knowing how to get it back, and that's something, we had to do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So,
Milwaukee is definitely one that's like different because there's not really like headliners or anything in Milwaukee. For the most part, you're booked for your 4-hour, 5-hour set.
Yeah.
So you're setting everything up, you're opening and you're closing yourself.
And it's like destination spots. Like whoever's going to Lucid is probably going to stay at Lucid all night.
Yeah.
Or
here not come there until an 11:30 midnight,
Yeah.
and then they're there.
And here, it's not like that. It's like, let's go to this bar. 20 minutes later, let's go to this bar. Especially during the day, the rotation of people is just so much more.
And there's just so many bars all on one street that you can hit 10 bars within 100 yards of each other.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah, it's just kind of crazy. It was something that I just picked up pretty quickly here, and it's something that it's part of the DJ game. You have to lock in that networking, get to meet people, and it really just goes to show how important networking is as a DJ everywhere. But I feel like it's especially important here in Nashville, because I have to get connected with those people like a Whiskey Jam, a FOMO, just kind of reaching out, and I got connected to them by hitting up the venues, and then through you. I mean, for like New Year's, it just ended up being, that's how I got my foot in the door with Whiskey Jam.
Yeah.
Was they needed something filled in, and you're like, yo, Declan's here, and it ended up getting me in with them, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Because that's the big show out here is getting in with them. So
Yeah. I mean, I always try to help. I've put in, some good words for certain people, and I think people think there's competition down here, but there's not, man. Because once it's summer, dude, there's so much work. Like, I don't know how many gigs I had to turn down from exhaustion. Like, where can you go in the United States and DJ 40 hours a week? Like, you can't do that anywhere else.
Yeah.
But from, May to September, you could do that here. Like, and then you could leave. You could just be like, all right, I'll be back in May if you really wanted to, Like, you can't do that in Chicago or Milwaukee. I mean, you could probably do like stupid, in-store events if you really wanted to and DJ 40 hours a week, but who wants to do that?
I haven't seen it yet for like a full summer here, because obviously me just coming here in August. But that's definitely something that I'm pretty pumped to see how it is. I have some friends coming here in March for St. Patrick's Day, because Nashville is doing that Bracket City Festival, where they're basically shutting down that lower half of Broadway.
Yeah.
Haven't announced who the acts are or anything like that, but it's St. Patrick's Day weekend, March Madness opening weekend,
Yeah.
and then just Nashville being batshit crazy as usual.
And I feel like March is when it starts to take off again, because
Weather gets nice,
and then
people
like
start
spring break.
Yep, exactly.
So like there's like my schedule is like pretty empty right now, but I feel like out of nowhere I'm gonna wake up one day and like all the bars are gonna be like, fill these dates, and then you're gonna be like, oh shit, it's back.
Yeah, and even that's crazy too, just kind of how they book. It's all basically like through an app, which makes it a lot easier instead of keeping your own schedule.
Yeah. I wish the app talked to itself.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't have to go in individually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like you have to switch like who you're working with. I wish it just knew.
Yeah.
Like once it gets booked, like it blocks it out from the other people.
Yeah,
you
that's
have to
the only hard
manually
part.
go in and do it, and it's so annoying.
He means like between the different bookers, so you have to switch workplaces.
Yeah.
And then your schedule is like that per each workplace, which doesn't get blocked out. So then if you get booked at one, you got to mark yourself as not available on the other one. So it gets a little weird then, just as of just having like a regular point of contact where they'll just reach out and be like, hey, are you busy this day? And you can look at your own schedule and be like, no, I'm not.
That is definitely something cool, because there's like definitely gigs I don't think I'd ever get to play if it wasn't like, man, we just got to fill it. Like,
Yeah.
Throw Darren there. Like he's off, Yeah, so stuff like that's cool.
Yeah, there's definitely plenty to do here. So far, since I've been here, I have my favorite spots to go visit. As long as you've been here, what's your favorite venues, your favorite parties to play, or your favorite parties to go to?
Well, if I'm DJing or if I'm just hanging out by myself.
I would let's hear both.
If I'm DJing, I love playing Kung Fu. The staff is amazing there. St. Patrick's Day will actually be my 1-year anniversary there.
Okay. I was just there on Saturday.
Yeah, they've been super cool, man. The staff, everybody, just about Kung Fu. The AGM came with us to Chicago for my birthday. Like, I just feel really loved there, man. I feel really appreciated there. Um, and then as far as like going out, I love going to Kung Fu just to see them. But there's a thing called Motown Monday at the 5 spot, and the DJ usually plays all vinyl,
Okay.
and it's pretty freaking fun, dude. And it's like it's a tiny spot, but like everybody's into Motown. And I grew up listening to Motown. My mom, you know, blasted Motown every weekend when I was growing up. That was like her cleaning music, you know. So for me, it's like a nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
To see the DJ on vinyl, you know, he might go a little off beat, you know, but it's like that's what's cool about it, you know. It's like, oh man, he trying, you know, and he'll go from 12-inch records to like 45s. He's having a blast. So I think that just makes it even funner. So
Yeah, bringing all the crates is not something that I'd want to do at any of the spots in Nashville.
Yeah, if you got to go climb up those stairs anywhere,
Yeah.
you'd be screwed.
Yeah, most of these spots, some of them don't have elevators, so you're taking the stairs.
Yeah.
And carrying all that shit would be a nightmare.
How about you?
Man, since I've been here, obviously, Whiskey Row is one of my favorite spots. Just the way that it's set up from that club level to their rooftop is just kind of...
The rooftop is amazing.
Yeah, it's a smaller, more like intimate rooftop.
When I first moved here, they used to put the DJ booth outside,
Yeah,
and you could just play like cool like house music, like noon to like 4 or 5 p.m. and people would be into it, man. And it was just fun just being outside on the your back's to Broadway, but like you have the Batman building, it's right to your right, so that made it really cool.
Yeah, I love Whiskey Row. One of my favorites to go to is Tin Roof.
Tin Roof is awesome.
On Demunbrun. Not Demon Brewing, as I was pronouncing it for probably the first month that I lived here.
It's Demon Brewing.
It looks like that's how it's spelled, but
everybody pronounces it Demumbrian, but it's Demon Brewing.
Yeah,
even Siri would be like, "Turn left on Demon Brewing."
Yeah, I got made fun of pretty bad, so it just haunts me still. But anyway, they don't know how to pronounce it. I'm definitely pronouncing it right. But Tin Roof is one of my favorite spots. First person I saw there was Houndstooth.
Shout out Connor.
Yeah, he was awesome. Been on a platform mix before, so if you guys haven't listened to it, check it out. Luna, what? What, babe? My dog's over here whining. She's just staring at me right now. Come here.
She's scared of all the tripods, I think.
Yeah, she's just literally staring me right in the face and just looking so sad. So. But she won't come up on the couch because she's scared of the tripod arms and everything. There we go. Yeah, there she is. This is Luna. She'll probably be a big time guest on a lot of the shows, so we'll see her a lot.
You want us to go?
But yeah, Tin Roof is one of my favorite spots.
She's not going.
The concept of it is really cool. It's a bar that's basically split in half by a dividing wall, and one side is live music, and then, like you said, being able to kind of just, when we're sick of this, let's go down to a different floor. For them, you just walk through this little hole in the wall.
Yeah.
It's basically just a little doorway. Corridor, yeah. Go to the other side, and that's where they have DJs.
Yeah.
Playing everything open format, which is awesome. So I just kind of really took a liking to that because you can go get your live music fixed while you're there, and then as soon as
it's like more of a local spot.
Yeah.
It's not, you can get away from Broadway. It's not the touristy stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, aside from that, those are probably two of my favorite spots. As far as live music goes, since obviously we're in Nashville now, because you're a country music guy. You like country music prior to moving here?
I like the more poppy hit stuff.
Yeah.
That's been the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I can name some of the old stuff.
But
like
you're
a
more
Garth
like
Brooks song,
yeah.
but I can't name, some of the other songs. I know who Willie Nelson is. I can't name any of his tracks.
Yeah.
you know?
They have a thing out here. We were talking Whiskey Jam does booking. They also run a major event out here called Whiskey Jam that they do at Winners every Monday and Thursday, which is, you guys brought me to my first one there. Basically right away when I moved here, you guys were like, hey, we got to go to Whiskey Jam.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
And it's an awesome event to go to just listen to live music.
It's
Concept
usually
of it is pretty sweet too. So.
I think it's always original songs too.
Yeah.
I believe.
Well, that's what I was asking you prior, because that's why it's usually like 3 or 4 songs. So these artists come and it's all up and coming artists, and then a lot of time they just have big name artists just pop up and just perform, which is pretty sweet. And they'll just have like celebrities roll through, anything like that. But for the most part, it's up and coming artists that are booked out. Ward Gunther is the guy that runs it. He's awesome guy. Gets the show going by himself, and then we'll just kind of in between sets talk to the crowd, see how everybody's doing. Get his whiskey jam, blackberry brandy out there.
Yeah.
But you just come up there, you sing 3 or 4 songs, and then on to the next person.
You know what? They might do some covers because remember I told you I went to that Liz Rose.
Yeah.
And the one thing that stood out was I remember him. It was like a Liz Rose takeover, and she like wrote a lot of the Taylor Swift stuff.
See, but do you think they just did it because it was like branded that night?
I mean, I think she did the song because it's her song.
Yeah.
But I remember him getting on the mic and being like, "That was the first time I heard a Taylor Swift song done by a person that wrote it.
That actually wrote it.
So there, people might do covers every now and then.
Yeah.
But I think the focus is to really, showcase your new stuff.
Yeah, because that's obviously what you're there for, is to potentially get noticed.
Yeah.
And play that Whiskey Jam stage.
Because his
and hopefully
podcast
take it
is
to
crazy.
Yeah.
It's like on Apple Music, right?
Yeah, he's on Apple Music every Monday through Thursday, and just dives into everything country. He always basically breaks new country music on there.
Yeah.
We'll talk country stories, country events. Obviously promotes his own event on there too. But yeah, it's a really cool event to go to. And then a couple times a year they do the big events.
Yeah.
Like they had Old Dominion, they had Hardy, where they'll just do those big parking lot parties where that's where it's.
They had one. I don't remember who it was, but it was a week right before I moved here, and it was somebody I was like, damn, I wanted to see him.
It's probably Hardy, because I think Hardy was the last one before Old Dominion.
No, I saw both of those.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who it was.
Yeah.
It was somebody big. But yeah, on the Hardy show, Keith Urban showed up.
Yeah.
And played guitar, and you're just like, what the heck?
Well, and they just had Nate Smith the other week, who...
It was like, he's right there.
Yeah, sings Whiskey on You, which is...
And mind you, these are all free.
Yeah.
They don't charge to get into any of these.
Yeah, only thing you got to do is wait in line. So
yeah.
if you make it there late, you're gonna be waiting for a while.
The Hardy show was insane. But that one got... Remember the bar, like, collapsed?
Yeah, that's where it happened, right? Was at that show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody left out of line, but they still had the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had so many people there that the floor of the bar
it like broke
collapsed.
and then it like broke like a gas line or something crazy.
Yeah.
So they like cleared it out and everybody freaked out. But there's probably 10,000 people in line for that show.
Yep.
Because it wrapped all the way around the alley. Like it just kept going.
Yeah,
and finally people were just like, I'm leaving after waiting in line for 4 hours, which is a win because I wasn't getting in, and then they all left, and I was like, sweet, I got to get it in.
And then you got in?
Yeah, I just went to Kung Fu. It was right down the street. I just went and ate some food.
That's crazy. But yeah, it's another something that I really like here. You talked about before the pitch meeting.
Oh, pitch meeting is awesome.
Yeah.
So they're like a whiskey jam. They're basically, if you're a singer-songwriter, they only allow you to do original songs. And it's a band of like, I don't want to say like 7-8 people. And they're all extremely talented musicians. And you basically go up, and if you know the chord, you tell them. If you don't know what chord it's in, you just start playing, and they listen. And then as you're playing your song, they all will just join in. So if you've never had your song played by an entire band, and you kind of like wonder how they do it, and they're just that talented. You're just like, it's kind of like mind blowing. You're like, what the heck? And
yeah, I remember you explaining it to me, and it's crazy to me because they're basically just
winging it.
Yeah.
And then the guy that runs it, they'll do like solos and stuff. So he'll be like, you go. And like he'll tell him, like you'll see him directing the bands, the members in the band, and he'll be like, all right, we're gonna have so and so do a horn solo, because they'll have like 3 guys on horns, like, It'll be you'd be like a whole show. You'd be like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. We got to go one day, bro.
Yeah, I would definitely like to go.
It's Tuesdays. I believe it's still at Sunny's. I got to look at their Instagram.
I'm always
Because I was going to go like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, it's at Sunny's?
It was at Sunny's. Yeah. But like 2 weeks ago, I wanted to go, and I think they weren't starting back up till March.
Okay.
So I got to look at that again.
Yeah. But yeah, that's there's a lot to do, like we said. And one thing that I noticed with there being so much to do, I would think that there would be a kind of service industry night, something like that.
Yeah.
There really isn't. And I don't know if it's just because I'm not as like tight with the entire Nashville industry as I was with like a Milwaukee and a Chicago. Because Milwaukee and Chicago, I mean, I could bring friends to the city. I could go out whenever I wanted to. There was always going to be somebody that I knew out that I could run into, or you just go and just meet up with whoever else from the service industry.
Yeah.
But you had those tailored nights at certain venues.
Definitely doesn't really happen down here. Unless it's like more in East Nashville.
Yeah.
That's more of like, local stuff. But I feel like not even then. Like I've walked into places with my buddy Travis, and he'll know bartenders. He's he's been a GM and bartended all throughout Nashville. So he knows a lot of people, but it still doesn't feel like how we are back home. Like it's like a knit family kind of.
Yeah.
Like you could go anywhere. Like you said, you can go anywhere and just have a good time. Here it's like, I don't know if the bartenders are just so different from the weekends. Like the weekends obviously make more money. So, the weekday bartenders are a whole different crew. It almost seems like they're competing against each other. Like I remember
like an A and a B squad.
Yeah. It's, like a kind of catty in a sense. Like, no,
you're saying like venue to venue competing with each other?
Well, inside the venue itself.
Yeah.
And then, even outside, like venue to venue, like, I've heard people be like, fuck Jason Aldean's, I don't go there. It's like, why? We're all making money.
And they look at it as like a competition.
Yeah,
like
it's like I don't know if you've been on the street on Saturday, but every bar has a line.
You're all busy.
For 4 or 5 hours, you all have lines. Like there is no competition here.
Yeah.
Everybody's making $100,000 tonight at every bar, if not more. Like,
yeah, it's just I would have thought that there'd be like a designated night or something like that. There just hasn't really been anything that I've found. I know Chaos had one going at Tin Roof.
On Broadway, Tin Roof.
Yeah. And then
we tried our Bowie's thing.
Yeah.
Which we're still picking at it. We're going to we took it down to once a month. We're going to start trying to do themes on it.
I just feel like there would be something that it would lead into just to get everybody kind of more closely knit. And then obviously having those kind of industry nights, for me, that's how you kind of network and you get people to come into your spot.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, if they do have that off night, let's say they're not open on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, by having those kind of nights, then it's like, cool, now this staff from this place that's not open is going to come over here. But like you're saying, that maybe Nashville's just a different breed where it's they're all open and they're all just working nonstop. So
yeah, there's a fun industry Monday party at the Virgin Hotel. It's during the afternoon. That one's actually really
Monday?
fun. Yeah, it's Monday afternoon. They actually let you use the pool if you're industry. So you don't have to be you don't have to be a hotel guest. That one is probably the only one I've been to where people will actually go. But I think it's the pool, the fact that you're on top of the Virgin Hotel.
Yeah.
Gorgeous hotel, gorgeous view.
See, that would be like the last place that I would be expecting to do that because of being like a corporate spot.
Yeah, that one's actually fun. I went like probably 10 times last summer.
Interesting.
That's one where I'll get up out of bed and be like, yeah, I'm going to go and lay in the pool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that with Milwaukee, like you're kind of always going out. That's changed since I've been here, where obviously like not knowing as many people and not having that industry be as tight. I've been going out a lot less, which is awesome for me because I feel a lot healthier.
Yeah.
But prior, I mean, when I was in Milwaukee, I would be going out 4 or 5 nights a week, drinking 4 or 5 nights a week, which means then you're eating shitty 4 or 5 nights a week.
Same.
And it's definitely something that you have to kind of balance because that shit can come back to you. And for you,
That
obviously,
was a goal moving down here, was to get better with like booze. Obviously, man, Chicago, man, we drink, you know, and it's one of those things where, you kind of want to drink with your homies, you know, like, man, it's kind of bored just sitting there in the booth next to the DJ booth, something like, man, let me go get some shots, say hi to everybody, say hi to this bartender, this bottle service girl, you know, especially like Tunnel Treehouse Moe's, you can just walk back and forth between all three bars.
yeah.
You know, because we owned all three of them. So, like, working there, you just kind of do what you want in a sense. You know, security, you knew all the security guards, so they weren't like, hey, you can't come in this door, you know? And then I DJ'd for all three of those places. So, you know. But yeah, moving to Nashville, that was something that, you know, when COVID first started, I took about a 3-month break from alcohol. And I was exercising a lot. I was trying to do at least 10 miles every morning on my bike. And I did well for a while. And then we kind of opened a little bit up in Chicago at Tunnel because we have that retractable rooftop.
Oh, so that counted as an outdoor venue?
Yeah. So we were able to start DJing again. And I was good for a couple weeks, but then eventually I gave in.
Yeah.
So yeah, goal to moving to Nashville was to slow down. And that first week, man, I was here, I did not slow down. Because it literally felt like vacation still.
Yeah.
It didn't really feel like home yet. And Gordo drove down with me, and he stayed a couple days, so we went out those nights. And then literally right when he left that same day, a few bartenders from Chicago came down, and I went out with them. And then this dude I know from North Carolina, that he would come and do bottle service in Chicago a lot, he was in town. So it was like 9 days in a row, bro. I pretty much blacked out.
Yeah.
Like, just went balls to the walls, bro. And yeah, man, on the second week of me living here, 9 days into moving to Nashville, I started getting real sweaty, and I was like, what's going on with my body? And next thing I know, I was at Vanderbilt with a heart attack. And it's the only time I've ever been in a hospital where it was like the movies, bro. Scary as shit. I was fucking bawling my eyes out. Like, I feel like in the DJ world, we don't ever really, you know, talk about this aspect, man, because the alcohol does get to you. And obviously there's things that come along with alcohol, you know?
Yeah.
That, you know, I mean, alcohol, eating late, like, dude, eating cheeseburgers 4 nights a week right before you go to sleep.
I'm a pizza guy.
Yeah,
every
even
time,
pizza,
man.
like
Every
anything.
time.
Anything
Yeah.
with red meat 4 nights a week, you know? Like, or cheese or like all that, man. It caught up. And yeah, man, that heart attack was scary as shit. Like, and I was down here pretty much by myself. I had Miguel, but he had his family. That was the one person I could call, you know, like, I like walked into the hospital, told them I was having a heart attack. They didn't believe me because of my age. At the time I was 34. And yeah, man, thankfully they ran some tests and they were like, yeah, he's having a heart attack. And next thing I know, there's bright lights everywhere. There's probably 15 people around me. They're cutting off my clothes. I remember trying to cover my private parts. Like, what's going on? Like, you know, you're in a room with 15 people and you're butt ass naked on a fucking table and you're stretched out. Next thing you know, they're like, your legs are like held down. You're like, I can't even move. Like, they're like, Mr. Jeffries, you got to stop moving. Like, I'm freaking out. There's a guy put my phone on my face to unlock it, to call Miguel, to let him know I'm there. And he's like, do you want me to call your mom? I'm like, no, she's, you know, a couple 100 miles away. What is she going to do? Like, I don't want her to freak out. Like, so like stuff like, dude, it was crazy, man. So yeah, I mean, I've definitely worked on my health a lot. I do slip up every now and then. I'll go on a, you know, 2-3 day bender where I'll drink, but I definitely try not to black out as much anymore. I've been doing really good, except my birthday in Chicago. That was kind of rough, but yeah, I think today I rode 7 miles on my bike. I did 2.5 miles on an elliptical. Like, it's hard, but you know, it's one of those, like, I think what was really hard about it is DJing. Like, I had to get to the point where I could DJ again sober.
Yeah.
That was like
just feeling more comfortable once you get a couple drinks in you and just kind of loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, and it's, you know, when you're sober, you're kind of scared to play certain stuff. You're like, fuck, you overthink every little thing. fuck, I threw that scratch in wrong. I threw that song in wrong. Like, fuck. And now it's gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, it's still there. I'll fix it on the next one. But yeah, that'd be the time I'd have to drink. Like, man, I need a couple shots to loosen up. I'm overthinking in my head. And I finally have gotten past that. It took a long time, man. It took me almost a year. But I've gotten past it, and I don't even stress that out no more.
Good. Yeah.
So it's definitely, the drinking it's been easy to like slow down.
Yeah, it's just crazy because it's something that, like you said, DJ wise, I mean, it doesn't always get talked about or just even kind of nightlife industry in general, whether you're bartender, you're bottle girl, or you're a DJ. That going out part of it and drinking part of it is a huge part because you have to kind of go out and network and meet those people, and the majority of the time, drinking is involved in that.
Yeah, especially if you're like, I feel like I'm pretty shy until I know you. Like once I know you and I'm very comfortable around you, then it's easy. But if I don't know you, it's hard for me to go up and be like, yeah, so what's this? I feel like I'm kind of being fake in a sense.
Yeah.
And I'm only talking to you because I kind of want this gig. Like, yeah, I would like to be friends, but we're not there yet, so we don't really have nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, so my go-to is like, hey, man, I gotta get you a shot. And you do that 20 times a night,
And not only are then you spending a shit ton of money, too.
Yeah, because you're not getting hooked up.
Yeah.
Nobody gives you a hookup in Nashville.
Yeah. So then you're spending a bunch of money and then drinking even more on top of it. So,
yeah.
Kind of living that party lifestyle, it can definitely catch up to you, but I'm glad, obviously, now you're being a lot
way
healthier.
better.
Yeah. I know biking is a big thing for you, just kind of trying to knock out those miles and miles every day.
I like outdoor biking. Everybody's like, why do you do that? I'm like, well, for me, I'll try to go as far as I can, but then I have to get home.
Yeah.
So that's where it's like, man, like if I was on a bike in a gym, I could do it, but it's like you just get off. You're like, I'm tired, I'm done.
Yeah.
But if you go 5 miles on your bike, you have to get home. That's another 5 miles. So
That's
it's
true.
like, that's my motivation behind being outside on the bike. Like that's how I like tricked myself into being like, I got this. And then I get to a point where I'm like, oh man, I got to get home.
Balancing that out and that kind of lifestyle out is something that I've done since moving here. I've been a lot more health oriented, which has made I'm down probably about 30 pounds since being here, just from not being out drinking and eating shit food every night. But I've also been DJing a lot less just because I've been working my actual full-time job too, where I would like to be DJing a lot more.
Right.
But I do think if I was DJing more, then I might be drinking a little bit more too, or going out a little bit more.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to build that routine to kind of let yourself know, like, hey, maybe don't go out this night, or don't drink and do this night. So you got to get up and work out in the morning. So it's
like it's kind of in the back of your head now.
Yeah.
Before I just be like, I ain't got to do shit tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now it's like, man, I hit up everybody I can. Because, like, I hit up Eric or Miguel, Mayo, Connor, Travis, like, whoever I can to work out, because it just keeps me going. So.
Yeah, gets you a little bit more motivated, yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. And I know from you, you're obviously building the routine that way, too, but you're always kind of in a routine for practicing, too.
Yeah.
Getting back into a little bit more of, like, posting more content of you practicing cuts, stuff like that, too.
There's definitely some scratches I want to learn by the end of the year.
Yeah.
I can do them slow. I'm too shy to post them right now, but getting that speed up, man, it's so hard.
Yeah, you got to kind of build that muscle memory for it. I know, I mean, you're 1,000 times better than me at it, so props to you, man, because that practicing part is huge, and it's a lot of times hard to do, especially when you don't know where to start.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, hey, you just watching videos until you pick the shit up, just doing it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of times. So,
yeah, that's a question I always get. Like when I moved here, was like, "You gonna teach me?" I'm like, "I can show you," but I'm like, "This is something you have to put the work in.
You got to put the hours in." Yeah.
Like if somebody can show me how to play guitar, it doesn't mean I'm gonna pick it up in a week.
Yeah.
Like scratching is just as hard, as playing any other instrument.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like scratching is one of those things that people do that shouldn't be doing it, because that's what makes it. That's where you get like the memes of shitty DJs. Because like, bro, you're not even doing it right. It sounds like shit, and you make every DJ look bad. Like, and in a DJ realm, a shitty scratching DJ is still gonna get booked. If you're a shitty guitar player, you're not gonna get booked.
You ain't getting booked.
Like,
yeah.
but a shitty scratching DJ or somebody that doesn't know what they're doing is still gonna get booked because they're just playing the music. So
Yeah.
something like that is like, that's another thing.
Yeah, that's kind of wild to think about.
Like, dude, you suck, bro. Let's be. You're terrible. Like, stop doing it. Just play the music.
Yeah.
Go home and practice, and then when you get good enough, then do it. But yeah, that's in any other world. That's why musicians hate DJs, because it's like it's such a half-ass craft sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, that's gets under the skin of like a lot of DJs. You know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it aside from just that music taste and song selection. But that's where it kind of builds that bad name for it. So, but
it's like, bro, stop. Like, you're hurting everybody's ears, bro.
Until you can actually practice and get the shit down. So, yeah, I mean, I know for me, like I said prior, I mean, I've known you for a long time. You've always been a great DJ. I've always kind of admired your taste.
Thank you, sir.
Just from hearing you out DJing. We will for the show every week when we're doing guests. Darren already sent us over his top songs of the week, so we'll get those added on Patreon. It's patreon.com/DJDexMKE. We'll put all those up so that way you'll be able to download those and add them into your library. See what you guys got for your next songs of the week. Where are you gonna be at this week? Where are you at this weekend?
Saturday tonight I'm at Nudies on the rooftop.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know that you're DJing tonight. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just got added yesterday.
Nice. See, there we go.
Yeah, and then Saturday I have stateside brunch at the Dream Hotel. Mm-hmm. That's a fun party.
Wait, did you just start doing that again, or what?
I do it. I'm supposed to do it every other week.
Okay.
Yeah, those people there have been super cool. Every time I walk in, they're kind of like, "Thank God it's you." And then Saturday night I have the W Hotel that just got added. I think they're just now bringing back DJs because I think they stopped for a second too. So yeah, man, hopefully that's good. I mean, it's 72 degrees in Nashville today, so hopefully this weather stays up. You know,
I hope so. Yeah.
And the W Hotel's a rooftop, so that makes it better with the better weather. I feel like W Hotel doesn't get a lot of tourists. I feel like it's a lot of locals.
Even though it's a hotel.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a mix, but I think it's like one of the cooler places to go in Nashville.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be on Broadway.
Well, I know you guys over summer would do like that pool party there a lot.
Yeah, Diesel would play that a lot.
Yeah.
I never made it because I was doing Grand Hyatt.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that party looked crazy, and they do like production into it.
Yeah.
LED DJ
they
booth
had
and
like
stuff.
an LED wall. Yeah.
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 And then Sunday night, Kung Fu.
Yeah. That's the residency.
Every Sunday, yeah.
Hate to close. Awesome, man. Yeah, I actually just got put on too. There was, I mean, like we're talking about through that app, somebody was like, "Hey, got to pick up this shift." So
what do you got?
Up one for Saturday at Layer Cake, which, like you're saying, I mean, if that's nice out, Layer Cake is a dope venue.
Yeah.
And playing that rooftop on a Saturday should be pretty good, especially if it's 70 some degrees. So,
yeah, man.
Yeah, turn that thing into a party. So, but yeah, we'll put those songs up. You got anything else you want to plug? Obviously, socials is at DJ Dirty Darren.
Yeah, everything's at DJ Dirty Darren. I just use Instagram the most. I have like Twitter and Facebook and all that, but I barely go on them.
Yeah. So if you're sending them DMs, make sure you send it to Instagram.
Yeah, and my box is always open. Any DJs that want to talk, chat it up.
Yeah,
I'm always down to
help out. Yeah, awesome, man. Well, this is it for our first episode. I'm DJ Dex at DJ Dex MKE, our first guest on the show.
Woo woo.
If you guys haven't already, make sure you check out the platform. It's at the Platform Mix on all socials. You can listen to the mixes on Apple Podcast, Mixcloud, or SoundCloud. These you'll be able to hear Apple Podcast and then watch them on YouTube. So until next time, we'll see you guys later.
Peace.